very welcome to the third episode of Hockeyfebers UK Ice Hockey Series 2022. And this is the second episode. Um no, excuse me, the third episode and the second interview. And today I'm really proud and happy to announce that I have from Fife Flyers the left wing Scott Jamieson. Jamieson, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
from Scotland, and it's a great uh, honor to have him. He have played close to eighth games so far in his career in the Elite Ice Hockey League in England, and he have also before played in the SNL, also called the Scottish National League, and he have almost on 40 games so far been close to 100 points total, and he is a big talent among many others, and it's, as I said, a great honor to have you on the show. Very welcome, Scott.
Thank you, David. I'm honoured to do this with you.
Yeah. How are you today?
I'm great, David. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Yeah, I'm just perfect. This is for the second year I have this British Ice Hockey series, and I, for a couple of years before I started this YouTube channel, I opened my eyes totally for British ice hockey. So it's like a dream come true to make this happening for real.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Um I'm just gonna start off with the questions I have for you today.
Yeah.
Uh, you are from Scotland, as we said, and you play for the Fife Flyers, and you are from the Kirkcaldy
Yes.
in Scotland, and it's for many of those that follow British ice hockey, they know that the Fife and Kirkcaldy is a place where they play a lot of hockey, not only in the Elite Ice Hockey League, but also, as I said in the beginning, in the Scottish National League. Would you say that that is the biggest sport in that
Uh,
area for you?
yeah and no, because I think ice hockey is genuinely getting bigger every year. There's a lot of fans now, and obviously there's a lot of younger kids in the area of Kirkcaldy playing a lot of ice hockey, so it is getting bigger every year. But I think football's probably a bigger sport over here,
Yeah,
so there's a lot of fans in that as well. But yeah, it's getting bigger every year, but I'd probably say football's still
yeah.
bigger.
Because also for those that doesn't know, Five Flyers, for example, is one of the oldest hockey teams in Great Britain in total.
Yeah.
They was established 1938, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, 1938.
So I mean, it's a long history of ice hockey there. So I mean, it have to mean something, and that you also have these other teams that don't play in elite ice hockey league. Then it creates like an good place to start to play.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So great. How would you describe the atmosphere in the Fife Ice Arena and the support from your fans?
The fan support's amazing. They've got a very passionate fan base, so if they don't like you or they love you at the time, it's one of them sort of buildings where it brings it's very tight to the ice, so the seats are very close to the ice. So it's one of them atmospheres. If you're the home side in there, you've got a very big advantage, in my opinion, compared to being an away team going in there. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, great. Do you remember when you did go on your first game as a kid?
When my first ice hockey match I watched, probably around 4 or 5 years old. My dad would have took me as a young boy. That was to watch the Flyers. Funny enough, and ever since then I fell in love with the sport and always wanted to just be a Fife Flyer, and I've eventually made it happen.
Yeah, and I also think that you have made many other young kids coming and watched you, wishing to become as you, uh,
Yeah,
being a Fife Flyer.
yeah, I'm very proud of that. As I say, I'm so passionate for the sport, and it's always nice to see people. look up to you in that way. It keeps you humble and keeps you going.
Yeah, I can really understand that. And you are 21 today,
Yes.
and I think it's just a few uh, uh, such young players as you that can say that they have played close to 80 games in the highest league in England, and also been able to not only do that but also play in, as I said, Scottish National League. So you have, for your age, a lot of experience, and
Yeah.
that must be feeling great, knowing that you have
No.
so much left.
Yeah, definitely. I think from a young age, I've always, through the Kirkcaldy junior development, I've always played ice hockey, a lot of ice hockey. So obviously, just see, I started at under 12s hockey, and you're playing up to the 14s and sometimes even 16. So you're playing a lot of hockey from a young age. So I think that's benefited me in the long run so far, anyway.
Yeah.
Playing that much hockey, and I've gained a lot of experience, and I've learned a lot of things from coaches who have coached me.
Hmm. But and also besides that, not only that, that you also have had um, been picked out to play for Great Britain's U18 team and represent Great Britain in the World Championship. Describe
Yeah,
that feeling and experience, being able to doing that.
it was an amazing experience for me. It was the first time I tried out for the GB team. The first year I went, that would have been a year before I got in the team that year. I didn't make it. I was a reserve, so I kind of got the bit in between my teeth trying to get in the next year, and it meant so much to me when I got eventually to pull on that GB top.
Yeah,
It's another thing what as a young age I've always wanted to do, and I think probably the next stage is hopefully try and get into the men's team. That would be the next
abs-
achievement I could try and get.
absolutely. And you have time on your side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely have plenty of time.
yeah,
Hopefully.
yeah. So, and how would you describe yourself as a hockey player for those that haven't seen you that much? And
Yeah, I think as when I played in the Scottish National League, I was more of a shooter. I was a goal scorer. Uh, Good skating ability. I just like putting the puck in the net. I could genuinely have an all-round game.
hmm,
But as I went up to the elite league for the Flyers, I kind of had to change that style of play, obviously, because it's a lot faster pace than what I was used to.
hmm,
A lot better hockey players. You know, sometimes you could be playing against people who have been drafted from the NHL or played in the NHL, so it could be very tough, especially for being a young boy compared to a lot of them. So, yeah, so the type of player where I am when I'm at the Flyers is like an all-round player. I try and play a bit grittier
hmm,
because obviously I'm more on the third or the fourth line, so I've kind of got to change my style of hockey play and make it benefit the team.
hmm. Excellent. Uh, do you remember the feeling you had and how it felt when you was getting to know that you were supposed to make your first A-team game for the Fife Flyers?
Yeah, I could remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
I could say that.
yeah.
I can remember the season before I got my first game. I was training with them all season, so that was when I was like I was 17, 18 years old. I was up and down with them training, getting some development with them. And then the season after, I got the phone call from the coach, and he asked me to sign up for the year. And the first game when it came, it was very daunting because you don't know what to expect at first. But it was one of the, I could still remember it like it was yesterday, as I say. It was one of the best experiences of my life so far,
Yeah.
especially
I
in a place where you've grown up and you've watched the players before you playing there. And you always, as a young kid, you're sitting in the stands thinking, I wish I could be that one day, and eventually it's happened. So it's one of them things. I love it.
Yeah, and also for yourself, knowing that all the hard work and hours that you have put down, it's like a receipt for you, not like you have reached the goal, but that you have reached your first accomplishment, so to say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great achievement so far anyway, and I'm on the right tracks to becoming what I want to be. Yeah, it's great. It's so good to do it such from a start an early age because, as you said earlier, I've got years on my side. So
Oh,
yeah, hopefully I could get better and better each year. That's my plan.
yeah, and seeing from my perspective, I'm not in a way, I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but seeing the senior team playing in the World Championship, and as we speak of the in the beginning,
Yeah,
the changes that have been made in British ice hockey, that also gives a signal to the other teams that they need to give the young players a chance to be able to develop and go forward with the
yeah,
sport.
absolutely, absolutely. I think the main thing is, especially from the experience I've got from coming up from the SNL to the Elite League, it's a very hard way to adapt from going from SNL hockey. So for me, I was always scoring goals all the time, and then going into a more of a gritty game from an elite league. So
Mm,
it could be hard in that sense. And in my opinion, I think there needs to maybe be maybe a like an NIHL league, maybe
mm, mm,
down next
mm.
in the Scottish league. So it's more of a bridge towards the elite league. So you're developing, you're playing a better high-paced game. So
Yeah.
it would maybe give you a better go at going at the elite leagues. I think that's maybe why a lot of
Yes.
people don't make it.
Yeah, exactly. So that you can go back maybe, but anyway, don't feel that you have done it wrong, but you have get to show a new you get a new opportunity to show that you can earn a place.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, but I also told you before I've spoke to other players that have played in the SNL
Yeah,
that you said it now, but uh, it also needs to be great for the players being left in the SNL, seeing that players as you and also other players that I have spoke to and know that plays in the elite ice hockey league, that you can still make it, but as you say, it is a large
yeah,
difference.
definitely. It takes a lot of commitment anyway.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the issues is that over here anyway. I think when you a lot of people get to a certain age, they kind of give up on it because they feel they're not going to get further. But you've got to just kind of grind out and keep working hard because, as you say, it's such a big gap. I think,
yeah,
and I think you could ask anybody in British ice hockey would tell you that. So it is a big challenge, but once you get through that and you keep going, you're only going to get better and better
yeah,
playing at the highest level.
perfect. Um, have you had any specific player or person that you have looked up to as a role model or a favorite player as you were younger?
Absolutely. When I was younger, it was Alexander Ovechkin. That was my hero.
Yeah,
So I could say another one was Yarmir Jagr.
yeah,
Still a role model to me nowadays. I'm still playing. Yeah, they were the sort of role models when I was younger. Maybe nowadays, maybe from a couple of years ago, I'd probably say Connor McDavid.
yeah,
Just like the way he skates, and I like to try and do things. We'll try and do things that he can do.
yeah. I great role models to have. Who were
Yeah,
your favorite Fife player as a kid when you watched the game?
as a kid, when I was maybe 10, 11 years old, I can always remember a guy called Jordan Fulton. He was at the Flyers for a couple of years, and he was a sort of gritty, all-round playmaker player. And I
Yeah,
just liked that sort of style of player, and he kind of got under the skin of the opponent. And I like that side of the sport, how it being gritty and stuff. That was one player I looked up to. Another one, there was a guy here on the very first year when Flyers joined the Elite League. There was a guy called Mike Hamilton.
yeah.
He was a great goal scorer, and he was definitely a great asset to the Fife Flyers back then. I could always remember the two names. They're the first what pop into my head when I ever get asked things like that.
Yeah, great, great. So, have you what do you think have been your greatest and proudest moment so far in your career?
Um, I've had quite a few, to be honest with you. So when I was 18, 19 years old, I got the chance to play for the Scotland under 19s, and we ended up beating England under 19s. And usually the England are usually a team who beat us and get the better of us, but that year we won, so that was a great achievement for me.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously pulling on the GB shirt, that was definitely, I still remember everything what happened there. I'm very proud of that. And mainly it would be making it to the Flyers team. And as I said, I've always went there as a young age, having the aspirations to be a professional ice hockey player.
Yeah.
And to eventually do it, it's my greatest achievement just because of the love I have for the club. And yeah,
That I can really understand. Can you describe the feeling you and your teammates felt when it was made clear that the elite ice hockey league once again could start with all of the 10 teams as it was meant after the pandemic situation have been more under control? The feeling that you felt when it was clear that you actually could start again playing.
it was great. It was one of the greatest feelings I had in a long time, should I say. 2 years being out of the sport wasn't good. Obviously wasn't good on people's development, and obviously wasn't good on people's health not being in out of ice hockey. And once we found out, we were going back, and the team started signing players, and it kind of just brought that buzz and that fire again. I was ecstatic. Is probably the best word I could give to you
Yeah,
for when I found out the season was starting again.
yeah, it was strange times
Definitely.
for all of the hockey fans for many countries. So I remember watching the Elite series that year,
Yeah,
and thinking for myself the effect that had for all of the rest of the teams not being able to
absolutely.
play, and
Absolutely.
specifically for the Great Britain team, knowing that they were going to play
World
in the World
Championships.
Championship. So
Absolutely.
it was still a great solution to have it, but still it was, I think, for all the fans and absolutely also for the players, a terrible time that you couldn't been able to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know guys, I've got friends of mine played in that Elite League series, and they've always said it to me. It was a very weird experience to be playing in that sort of atmosphere because to me, I think British ice hockey has such a big fan base, and it's a very great crowds everywhere, very passionate fans, and then to go from that to then no fans, and then just playing against the same the same four teams.
Yeah.
So you're playing the same four teams instead of 10, and it didn't have the same feeling about it as they told me.
No.
So yeah, I didn't play in that, so I wasn't. I was working at the time.
Yeah.
I couldn't
So,
risk going there to do that.
so that's a great feeling knowing that things in a way can get back to some kind of new normal, and that we can
Absolutely.
have
Yeah,
fans, and that we all, whoever we are that love ice hockey, can enjoy it together.
definitely. And just as I said, it brings that buzz back to everybody. I could remember social media going crazy when the league, everything came out about the Elite League starting up, and me reading all these sort of things on Twitter about me and everything about the team. It just brings you that buzz,
Yeah,
and it just makes you so excited to play again.
that I can really understand. Uh, what have you set for kind of personal goals for this season?
Um, I think every year there's always goals I would always set. This year, for example, I wanted to try and get more ice time. So, because my first year I was I was new to the league. I needed to take time to develop, and I felt if I started to get some playing minutes, I could really show my ability and show the coaches what I can do in games. And yeah, it's one of the things. So this year I was wanted more ice time, and I've got that. Also, I've put some points up, and I always said at the start of the year I've always wanted to try and contribute to the team as much as I can, whether it's points or playing a gritty game, drawing penalties, things like that. So they're the sort of things I want to set goals for every
Yeah,
year, and obviously as I get older, I'll gradually pick up and make them bigger and bigger as I gain them achievements.
Yeah, for you have to say if I'm wrong now, but you have not only put up points in the league as Elite Ice Hockey League, you have also played 9 games and doing assists in the league cup, right?
Yeah, the
Uh,
Challenge Cup,
and
yes.
and you have done a goal this year in Fife in
Yeah,
the Elite. Was it the first in
it
in
was
the
my
Elite League?
it was my first league goal. Yes,
Yeah.
I scored for them in my first year. Funny, it was my second game I scored for them, but that was a friendly game against I can't remember the is it Harlev Eagles or some sort of team like that. I can't
Yeah,
remember the
from
name, but
Denmark.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
it was, I
yeah,
think that was the team. Yes, I scored against them, but obviously that's not doesn't go on your record because it was a pre-season game. But I got my first official league goal. I think it was 2 3 weeks ago now, and it was a very special feeling. That's for sure.
that I can understand. But still, you played, I think, in that tournament, friendly tournament against Landsult and Herville Eagles.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
uh,
yeah,
and that is a really competitive two great teams.
yeah, definitely.
So it's a great receipt still to, I think, being able to do that.
Yeah, it's they play a different sort of hockey to British hockey, in my opinion. But it was great to play against sort of teams of that caliber
Yeah,
and get a goal against them. Obviously, makes it a little bit better.
yeah. So I have to say it have been an absolutely blast and joy to have you as a guest, and
Yeah,
I wish you all the best with whatever you do and all your teammates, and wish you all the best for the rest of the season and whatever will come for you, and hopefully you will have many great moments and experience through your career.
thank you very much, David, and thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully we could do this again at some point.
Absolutely, it would be perfect to do.
Yeah,
And for all of the viewers, I hope that you have enjoyed this as much as we have. And for all of you that doesn't subscribe or follow Hockey Fever, make sure to press the subscribe button so you don't miss out of any thing that I put out or episodes or whatever. And I wish you all a very pleasant and great evening, and take care, and we see each other on YouTube. Bye bye.